Biden, why did you put your dad on speakerphone with your business partners if he had no involvement in your business?
Do you have a dad? Does he call you?
Yes.
Do you answer the phone?
Yes.
Okay.
But why did you need to talk to him during business meetings if he had nothing to do with your business?
All right, guys, so we got to talk about what looked like a episode of reality television happening in Congress as Hunter Biden made a surprise appearance at a markup of the House Oversight and Accountability Committee as the panel considered a resolution to hold Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress for defying a congressional subpoena last month.
They want to talk to Hunter
we have
behind
these
closed
live
doors.
images right now. We see Hunter Biden appearing at the Capitol, just walking through the door. It looks like he's surrounded with his Secret Service team there and other members of his entourage. But he is officially at the Capitol as these hearings get underway. We're looking at live images right now as he goes through, it appears, the metal detector or nearby the metal detectors. We presumably expect him to enter at least one of these committee rooms because, again, this is before the Oversight Committee, also action happening in the Judiciary Committee. We're just going to follow these cameras and Hunter Biden and see where he's going to head, what's going to happen next. Again, he wasn't expected to show up for these hearings from the sense of he wasn't called by the people holding these hearings to appear. So he's choosing to be there. I want to.
Now, if you guys remember, Hunter Biden last month, he was called to testify in Congress behind closed doors. Now, what happened was that the GOP essentially made a trap. This is one of the smarter things I've actually seen that the GOP do, okay? They don't really make too many smart moves, but this actually was a pretty smart move in which they basically said, look, we want you to testify behind closed doors, a part of the Joe Biden impeachment inquiry. And Hunter Biden basically said, no, I want to testify publicly. Now, at first, I was confused in regards to why would the Republicans not want him to testify publicly, okay? Why they want him to testify behind closed doors. But I'm starting to think that they basically wanted him to testify behind closed doors knowing that he would disagree with it, right? Knowing that he would say, no, I'm not going to do it. And then he wouldn't show up to Congress, okay? And they would have an excuse to move forward with the impeachment inquiry, because at that time, the so-called moderate Republicans were on the fence about moving forward with the impeachment inquiry against Joe Biden because, you know, they're saying that, well, we don't think that there's enough evidence to move forward. The fact that Hunter Biden is essentially refusing to testify basically gave those moderate Republicans now the excuse that they needed to say, well, since Hunter Biden is not cooperating, we need to move forward with the impeachment inquiry because that gives us more power to investigate. Again, that was one of the rare 3D, 4D, whatever you want to call it, chess moves from the Republican Party that I've seen. Okay, I want to see a lot more of that. But anyways, with that being said, Hunter Biden, again, he showed up to the House Oversight and Accountability meeting, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, when he showed up, things got out of control. It went off the rails as Republicans like Nancy Mace immediately started trying to question Hunter Biden. And of course, Democrats didn't like that. Take a look.
From South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Chairman Comer. First of all, my first question is who bribed Hunter Biden to be here today? That's my first question. Second question, you are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of? You have no balls to come up here and...
Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry.
Mr. Chairman,
if
the gentlelady wants to hear from Hunter Biden, we can hear from him right now, Mr. Chairman. Let's take a vote and hear from Hunter Biden. What are you afraid of?
Hold on. Order.
Are women allowed to speak in here or no? Are women allowed to speak in here or no? Because you keep interrupting me.
I'll interrupt the chairman. I don't know that he's a lady.
I think that Hunter Biden should be arrested right here, right now, and go straight to jail. Our nation is founded on the rule of law.
Come on.
And the premise that the law applies equally to everyone, no matter what your last...
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order.
It doesn't matter who you are.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Biggs over here.
Donald Trump Jr.
Biggs over here.
State your point, Mr. Biggs.
Yeah, my point of order is this. Are we going to continue on with this blatant interruption? This is absurd and inappropriate. I intend to give my statement. I don't intend to have anybody interrupted. I'm not going to interrupt your statements. I think you should have decorum and courtesy and don't act like a bunch of nimrods.
You just interrupted a woman.
And that's 5.
I got permission.
Can we agree everyone has
Mr.
5
Chairman,
minutes? Can we agree?
Point of order again. The assertion that I interrupted was absolutely false. That's typical of the gentleman who spoke it. I got permission to speak from the chairman. I spoke. I was interrupted yet again by the gentleman who doesn't choose to go through the chair and follow proper order. I encourage us. I think if we're going to have any respect at all, we need to have proper decorum.
Well said. Well said.
I'd like to finish.
The rules are everyone's going to be recognized for 5 minutes. Anyone that wants to be recognized will be recognized for 5 minutes. Ms. Mace has 4 minutes and 13 seconds left. Chair recognizes Ms. Mace.
It does not matter who you are, where you come from, or who your father is, or your last name. Yes, I'm looking at you, Hunter Biden, as I'm speaking to you. You are not above the law at all. The facts in this case are crystal clear. This committee used and issued a lawful subpoena to Hunter Biden. A critical witness.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Now, again, I don't know what's up with Republicans using these pseudo-woke talking points, right? It's like I try to tell you guys, I think the Republican Party, low-key, especially the women, right? They seem to be feminists. They seem to be a little woke. Again, I'm not going to go too hard on Nancy Mace because I overall agree with the point that she's making, okay? Hunter Biden is exercising Democrat privilege, okay? Even though the left would call it white privilege, they're not really going to call it white privilege because, again, Hunter Biden is a leftist. So I ain't really going to say too much about what appears to be a guy getting away with crimes that other people would not get away with, right? That, you know, people like Wesley Snipes would be locked up for when you talk about tax evasion and things like that. Yeah, so after Nancy Mace went off on Hunter Biden, Democrats tried to hold a vote to have the hearing right at that moment, okay, since Hunter Biden just showed up by surprise, aka Democrats, along with the White House and Hunter Biden, probably all colluded to have Hunter Biden show up to do this PR stunt for the liberal media. Take a look.
The witness accepted the chairman's invitation. It just so happens the witness is here. If the committee wants to hear from the witness and the chairman gave the witness that option, then the only folks that are afraid to hear from the witness with the American people watching are my friends on the other side of the aisle. I don't know if there's a proper motion, Mr. Chairman, but I'll make a motion. Let's vote. Let's take a vote. Who wants to hear from Hunter right now, today? Anyone? Come on. Who wants to hear from Hunter?
Motion's out of order. Yeah.
No one. So I'm a visual learner. And the visual is clear. Nobody over there wants to hear from the witness. Oh, there's one. Thank you.
Will you yield for a question?
I'm not there yet, but I will eventually. So there's no one, well, other than one or two, that want to hear from the witness. So the majority of my colleagues over there, including the chairman, don't want to hear from the witness with the American people watching. So
yeah, so again, what you see here is Democrats colluding with Hunter Biden, and again, probably Joe Biden as well too, to try to skirt around the GOP wanting to have a closed-door testimony with Hunter Biden, okay? And again, Democrats are trying to do it in public. They're trying to do it on the spot, right? To try to show that, oh, this is a sham by the GOP, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Again, there's a lot of political games going on here, right? So as Marjorie Taylor Greene begins to question Hunter Biden immediately gets up and walks out in a panic, okay? He storms out of the room because apparently he don't want Marjorie Taylor Greene asking him questions, despite swearing up and down, claiming that I'm here to talk, right? I'm here to tell my side of the story. Take a look.
Ms. Green from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
Whoa! Oh.
I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble. Wow, that's too bad.
I think it's clear and obvious for everyone watching this hearing today that Hunter Biden is terrified of strong conservative Republican women because he can't even face my words as I was about to speak to him. What a coward.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Clearly, he wasn't really ready to talk, or he really didn't come to talk because he didn't want to talk to Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? So he decided to walk out. And then he was asked questions by a reporter, okay, asking the tough questions, the right questions, something that, again, you rarely see in the media, especially when it comes to Democrats. And he claimed that asking him questions was dangerous. That's a dangerous thing to do, that the reporter was dangerous for asking him questions. Take a look.
Biden, why did you put your dad on speakerphone with your business partners if he had no involvement in your business?
Do you have a dad? Did he call you?
Yes.
Answer the phone?
Yes.
Okay.
But why did you need to talk to him during business meetings if he had nothing to do with your business?
Well, you're dangerous. You're very dangerous.
So he says you're very dangerous. And one of the reasons you might say that is because I'm sure that his lawyer said, we're going to go out in the hallway.
The Republican chairs today, then, are commandeering an unprecedented resolution to hold someone in contempt who has offered to publicly answer all their proper questions. The question there is, what are they afraid of?
Byron Donalds, I think, does a good job of basically summing up the privilege that Hunter Biden is experiencing in regards to him thinking that, hey, I can just choose whether or not I show up for congressional subpoenas, right? Whether or not I want to testify in public or behind closed doors, despite the fact that Democrats drug Trump Jr. through the mud with their sham investigations, and he complied because he doesn't think he's above the law.
Look, let's be very clear. This isn't about Hunter Biden's white privilege. It's about Hunter Biden's Democrat privilege. Because Donald Trump Jr. showed up for 5 congressional subpoenas. There was never this circus where he was subpoenaed by House Democrats and he showed up on the Senate side or showed up at the White House to answer in some fake, phony, lame press conference, not actually going to the House and doing what he was compelled by a subpoena to do. Hunter Biden did that. And then he has the unmitigated gall to show up here when we know that we're going through actually the legislation for contempt, with, by the way, Mr. Chairman, we should actually get to the legislation of contempt. The speechifying is great, but let's do our business, members. He has the gall to come here, show up, and then when the Democrats are saying, hey, he wants to speak, he leaves. This is a joke. This is a farce. The man has been subpoenaed by Congress.
Yeah, so clearly this is a political game, right? This is political football between Democrats and Republicans because, as per the usual, Democrats are huge hypocrites, right? They had no problems with closed-door, non-public testimonies when it came to trying to impeach Trump, right? When they were trying to impeach Trump, they were holding, behind closed doors, testimonies and hearings and things like that. No problem with it, right? Then they're saying, no, we don't have to have closed-door hearings because you guys lied too much, okay? You're going to spin it, even though there is a transcript of what is being said. Democrats, Dan Goldman, more specifically, tried to spin what Devin Archer said behind closed doors. Oh, Democrats said, oh, no, Republicans, you guys are going to lie and try to spin it if we do it behind closed doors. That's why we don't want to do it.
And let me tell you why nobody wants to talk to y'all behind closed doors, because y'all lie. That's just the bottom line. You have done it thus far in this investigation. You have done it this far as it relates to this committee. In every single hearing, y'all spin. I don't know how y'all are still standing right now because you should be quite dizzy from all the spinning that you're constantly doing when it comes to spinning the truth. You talk about free and fair elections, but you back a guy who we know tried to steal the election. And this isn't about what Democrats have to say. Let me remind you, for those of you that don't know how the justice system works, it's not a matter of the president went in and indicted Trump, but we are talking about grand juries. Grand juries are comprised of American citizens, and the people that have entered pleas of guilty that will be flipping on your leader in a minute, they are Republicans. I do want to point that out. And half of them were Republicans that were handpicked by Donald Trump himself. So, to be clear, whatever happens to your little leader, it's going to be because of the actions that he took. So you can talk all you want to about how January 6th was nonsense, but all of y'all were running. at that time. Y'all were grabbing y'all's gas masks and y'all were running to your offices because you didn't know if they were coming to kill you. You should have cared that somebody was there to protect you, but instead you want to play games because you found out that it was your leader that decided that he wanted to propagate an insurrection on our country. So don't tell me that you care about the Constitution, because you don't. All you care about is Trump getting reelected, and I'll yield the last of my time to my leader.
They held Stephen Bannon in contempt of Congress, and former White House advisor Peter Navarro in contempt of Congress. They had them sentenced to prison, right? They had them sentenced to prison. They had no problems with, again, holding them in contempt of Congress, them not showing up, even though they were subpoenaed. They had no problems punishing them for that. But when it comes to Hunter Biden, all of a sudden, this is unprecedented, right? It's unprecedented to punish somebody for not complying with a subpoena, right? When, again, Democrats punish Republicans or their political opponents that did not comply with subpoenas, right? Sentence them to prison. It's amazing how that works, right? And this is why I think that Republicans need to stop playing games, right? Stop playing games. Go ahead and send Hunter Biden to jail, okay? Go ahead and send him to jail. Go ahead and have him arrested. Have him sent to prison, okay? Just like Democrats would do, and they have done, to people like yourself. Hunter Biden is facing potentially his third criminal prosecution. I mean, who knows? He may or may not go to prison. I don't know. But at the very least, with this, you can guarantee that he goes to prison, right? And I think that Republicans need to stop playing games. Go ahead and have this man arrested, okay, and send him to prison, okay? Because clearly he's not trying to cooperate, right? He's not trying to cooperate. He is not trying to talk behind closed doors, where I believe that the reason why Republicans really want to get him behind closed doors is because in a public hearing, it becomes more of fireworks, right? It becomes more of a gotcha and zingers, and it becomes more for television rather than actually drilling down Hunter Biden and asking the key questions that need to be asked in order to actually really get him to talk and to give us the information that we're looking for, right? So I think that's part of the reason why they want to be behind closed doors, even though I would like to see a public hearing or testimony. I kind of can understand the reason why they would want to do it behind closed doors. But, you know, hey, with that being said, again, this is a political stunt from Democrats and Hunter Biden. And obviously Democrats are, melting down and crying and, yada, yada, yada over Hunter Biden. But clearly what you're saying here is a form of privilege, right? It is Democrat privilege. And that is what Hunter Biden is currently experiencing right now. The guy thinks he can just walk up in Congress and say that, hey, I'm here to testify right now, right? You need to do it right now, okay? Despite the fact that I'm not following the rules, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not following the law, I'm here right now. I talk what I want to talk, right? Again, it's amazing. Again, this guy, according to Joe Biden, is the smartest guy he knows, right? According to Joe Biden, which tells you everything you need to know about Joe Biden's judgment. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.